In South Africa, more than 30% of teenage girls fall pregnant, while between 65 and 71% of the pregnancies among the youth are unplanned. While in conversation with three young ladies, we found out that some of them fall pregnant on their first encounter.
When I fell pregnant, I was 19. Eish, ubuhlungu ngoba bengisase-virgin. Eish, kayiwarinyana umuntu abaspat.
Some teenagers who are brought up in a seemingly stable and loving environment tend to leave their homes in search of freedom, only to find a world filled with hardships, abuse, and poverty.
Mina igama lami uPhumzile. Ngaba pregnant ngina-14 years. That was 2005. Ngifuna ukukhuluma mama, bengumntwana ongezwa. Bengezwa, bengihamba 1 week yonke angikho ekhaya, 2 months angikho, mabangifuna, uthola ukuthi la bangifuna khona ngibabhekile makabona. Abazi nokuthi nguphi, either way bengibale ngakhona.
Phumzile came from one such home, but her rebellious ways led her to roaming the streets, where she eventually found herself living with an older man that further got her pregnant at the young age of 14. Older men that date teenagers physically abuse and manipulate these young girls to have unprotected sex with them to prove their love for them.
Into engawona ngayo ngokuthi angayisusa azange akukhahlelwa. Ngashaywa le day kabuhlungu kanjani. I remember
According to an article by the Human Science Research Council, teenage pregnancy is also associated with domestic violence and family disruptions.
Ngama kancane ngathi athukile naye mangathuki ithe bangiphaphama futhi ngibuye.
Lack of knowledge and myths about contraceptives is also a contributor to teenagers not taking contraceptives, and they are made to believe by their peers that contraceptives can make you gain weight. Fear of never falling pregnant when they are older due to side effects of contraceptives, mood swings, cervical cancer, and that condoms do not make you get the sexual pleasure as opposed to when you're not using a condom. According to Statista, in a study conducted in 2018 to 2019, approximately 5% of females aged 14 to 19 years in South Africa stated that they are going through different stages of pregnancy.
Igama lami uMinenhle, I'm 20 years old. I fell pregnant at the age of 16. I was doing grade 10, 2017.
Teenage pregnancy is another contributing factor to South Africa's suicide rate. The fear of being disowned by their parents, being ridiculed by their peers, or not being supported by their baby's father may cause depression, which can lead to them taking their own lives.
Thatha ifoni wangibloka until ngathi ayazini ngiyazibulala. Ngathatha amapilisi ngawaphuza. Ngawaphuza qeda ngalala.
Yeah,
It's hard.
When some teenage boys find out that they have impregnated their partners, they tend to resort to rejecting or denying their responsibility. This is mostly due to the fear of not being able to take care of a baby while they themselves are still minors. To find out more about government's intervention about the issue, we visited Sandown Clinic in Sandton, which is owned by the city of Joburg. Upon our arrival, we noticed that the clinic operational hours are from 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. from Monday to Friday. This is the time when teenagers are at school. The clinic runs programs such as the Adolescent Youth-Friendly Service, which focuses on family planning and teenage pregnancy. We met with one of the clinical sisters who is closely involved with the program.
My name is Madin Jirapiti. I've been working for City of Johannesburg Municipality Department of Health since 2008.
Other barriers to sustained contraceptive use include medically inaccurate notions about how contraceptives work and fears about the effects of contraception on fertility and menstruation.
They believe that because these things are hormonal, some of them they don't want to gain weight because these contraceptives, they believe they make them fat. They can sometimes make you have cancer. That's what they believe.
Even if teenagers want to go to the clinic, they are scared to do so. So they end up taking a risk of having unprotected sex with the hope of not falling pregnant or contracting any sexually transmitted infections.
But the parents, they also play a big role in the upbringing of these kids and educating them about sex.
Ukupreventa bekuzoyenzakala, but ngomamam it wouldn't, because bekayala athi anyeke manje ukuvumela ukuthi wenza into so kusho ukuthi ngiyakuthumela ukuthi hamba odlala nabafana. So it was nothing different was
thus
gonna...
leading to teenage pregnancy. The Department of Education also needs to come to the party by including family planning in the life orientation curriculum. This will aid in educating teenagers about the repercussions of having unprotected sex and not using contraceptives.